You're on the couch enjoying some TV, or you're in your favorite chair enjoying a good book. And then the radar looks like this. And then this happens. Let's find out if I'm prepared when I lose power. I just want to state right off the top, I am doing a Patreon push right now. I need about 5 more members spread out through the various levels. We can go ahead and unlock the next Patreon perk tier, and that will give us the ability to have annual memberships. I know some of y'all have been wanting annual memberships, and Patreon does allow me to do that. However, I'm not at that bullet point yet. So once we hit it, and there needs to be a period of time where we hold that, then it will give us the perks. So if you haven't done it already, please consider going over to Patreon and help me keep this channel running and unlock that for the awesome members who want that. All right, let's get into the video. First, let's start in the comfy chair, and we're going to talk about communication because this is a ham radio channel. Communication and information is very important when a storm is coming. So let's just kind of look at information. We're going to be looking at the National Weather Service itself to get us the most accurate information and tells us the hazardous outlook, and this is very important. The hazardous outlook can be found on the National Weather Service site, and the hazardous outlook will tell you what hazards is going to be happening in your area for that particular day, and it will tell you for the next day or two what the outlook, what it could be. This is used for national weather spotters and also the weather services around your metroplex area or your rural area, because I live in Dallas. Then weather radar. I like to use radar. This application is on Android, and I think it's also on the Apple device, and it shows you the weather radar for the various areas. I really do like this. I used this app when I was doing storm spotting for Tarrant County races to see the weather and where it was at. However, reading the weather radar is a skill that I kind of acquired over many times of using it and knowing which radar reflectivities and precipitation amounts to look at different times. The best thing I can recommend is look up Skywarn major city and see if they have a Skywarn session class. These classes teach you how to be a weather spotter, but also they help you read a weather map and understand terminologies, what's going on within a storm. So if you're not even doing the spotting part, this is great information to go and listen to. So when the weather guy is talking on the TV, you know some of the terminology and what it means and how it can affect you at your house. Finally, I wanted to talk about real fast is your radio. Do you know what Weather Spotting Net, Races Net, is for your area? Do you know how to get to that on your radio? I do. The radio's dead because Frank left it on the other night while he was listening to the weather net. But these information is very important. So do a Google search and look races and your major city, or races in your county, and see if you can find that repeater, and then go ahead and put it in your radio as a channel so that it's always there and you're able to listen. Next, let's go ahead and talk about power. Texas is getting hit by some storms in the last several days consecutively, and this is about usual for this time of year. And our friend Robert has gone through some storm damage already. And this is the time I usually go through and check my preparedness for when I lose power or got infected by a storm. And you know what? Thought it'd be a good idea to bring you along. So the first thing we're going to look at is power. What do I need power for? How I'm going to need power, and lighting. Find ourselves out in the garage now, and this is where I set up my big battery recharging station. So this is my big 20 amp hour BioLeno battery. I also have the 30 amp hour lead acid battery that a friend gave me from the channel, and it's so awesome. I also have upstairs a 9 amp hour battery. So in total, that's 59 hours. That's really good. And these charging station here is just a single recharger that's plugged into the wall. And I use this for all my radio activations, and I keep these batteries topped off in case I lost power. Also with batteries, I do have a Renovi power batteries for all my power tools and things that my brother says I should not play with. Now, this battery system is fairly common, and Renobi does have an awesome lantern that you can slam in there and turn on. I really do love that. Also, for that same battery system, I have a fan-made 3D printed light that goes on top of those batteries. That is awesome, and that's all stored in the garage, kind of the same areas, except for the power drills that are over there. And I just like keeping everything in one area, and I know it's ready to go and charge. Let's turn this off for now and take one of the 20 amp hour batteries inside, and then we're going to look at what I'm going to use the battery for if we lose power. As we go through the house, I am going to point out some of the lights that I have. This was already dead, so it's recharging. It is an awesome rechargeable lantern that I usually keep in the living room for when the power goes out, and I do love it. But it's dead, so I can't use it when it's dead. In the living room also, I think it's somewhere, there is a light, just a flashlight, and that's where I kind of store it, in the living room or the kitchen. We're back in the bedroom now. Fooled you, we're outside because it's just better light. Let me go over the battery system for the CPAPs. 2 CPAP systems, because you know the couple that CPAPs together stays together. I just made that up, it's awesome. All right, let's go through it. This is the 20 amp hour battery that's going to a Buddy Pull Mini Power, and that has 2 loads, 1 and 2. These are car adapters that I've cut off the car adapter plug, and I put power poles on. The video how I did that is up here somewhere. And then I have the solar panels for them. The 20 amp hour battery combined, I'm probably gonna say it's gonna do 2 solid nights. And then the 30 amp hour battery, maybe 3 solid nights. So I will be able to last about 5 days. Then with solar, I should be able to just constantly charge a battery when one is on the bed and in use, and then the other is just being charged in the sunlight, so I can rotate those out. We find ourselves back in the kitchen here, and what I have as a stove is electric. I don't know why the previous owner installed an electric stove in a gas house, but if I lose power, that's not going to be working. So I do have in my camping supplies a Coleman stove, gas stove. Then I have for the gas stove itself 2 of these gas cans. This one feels about 3/4 full, and I have another that 2 I have untouched. Also in the kit, ooh, I do like this. Let me show you. If we go ahead and open this guy up, been a bit since I used them. I have a travel pan that travels with it, and I kind of use that just to set stuff on, or I can use it to cook on. And this is used for the 20-pound gas, the large 20-pound gas tanks that I can convert it to, so I can use it from the large gas tanks I have for the grill. I can use it over here. Yes, I really do like that. With everything, I like having multiple ways and multiple options to use some critical infrastructure, and I think a gas grill and your stove is critical. Finally, in my preparedness, of course we have all the food that's in the fridge. To also help offset that, I have a stock of Mountain House food, so I can use as free-dried or just cook with limited water. I said the word, water. I have power, I have communication, I have lights, I have food, I have ways to cook the food. Water is the one thing I do not have a store of. That is the one thing that is critical in my infrastructure plan that I don't have. I forgot about that. I thought about this last year, and I was like, I'm gonna take care of that. Haven't taken care of that. So I need to stock up on water. I've been doing that for a while. A while ago, I had like 4 1-gallon jugs, and every year I bought a jug and I wrote the year on it, and I rotated out after 4 years. I used that jug of water, but during one of the moves or reshuffles, a couple of those got punctured, and I just threw the whole lot out. I actually did throw the jugs away with the water. So that is my limited factor. And how I forget the most important thing for preparedness. You need a good chair to sit down, a good cigar to pull out, and a good bourbon. Where is it? yeah, to enjoy while you watch it rain. It was raining earlier today, but not right now. So I hope this video helps you think about your emergency preparedness. Robert, we're thinking of you, and I hope all is well with you. And I found I'm lacking water and maybe some additional food. But thank y'all for coming along with me and making sure I had everything and I knew where everything was. I had to go look for some stuff. And now I'm just getting some things charged. So if I forgot anything, or if you want to comment on anything I have, and then just ideas in general, please comment below. I really do appreciate it. Y'all have been amazing and awesome. Thank y'all for the YouTube members. Thank you for the Patreons. So thank y'all for watching. I really do appreciate it. And as always, go forth and conquer.